Hey everyone, it's Eden. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. Today I have a Q&A. I asked some questions over on Instagram, and now I'm going to answer them. So sit back, grab a snack, grab a drink, because you know your girl's long-winded. Let the intro roll and we'll get into it. First question is, how do you balance weight loss and body positivity? I'm struggling hard in all caps. So I would say the first thing is to know that you're not alone. I have gotten dozens of messages from influencers with 1 million subscribers down to 10,000 subscribers, and messages from a couple dozens of you all saying the exact same thing. And I think that that definitely highlights a problem in the movement. I have had people tell me that they have gotten VSG recently and they're afraid to tell their audience because they don't want to lose their following. People battling a number of health things and they don't want to tell their audience because of body positivity. Also, people on a number of different diets, and they just can't speak out because they know what the backlash will be. So you're definitely not alone. A lot of people are clearly struggling with this, and this is really the problem with labels. When you feel like you're stuck between weight loss and body positivity and you have to balance these two movements, maybe you need to start unsubscribing to some of that ideology and kind of throw those labels out of the window and really just sit back and evaluate who you are, what you believe, what you want. Like when you feel like your life is shuffling between movements versus just being yourself authentically and loving the life that you're living, that's a flawed way to live. So my philosophy is always like my granny's philosophy: eat the fruit, spit out the seeds. Take what you need from these movements. I mean, like me, I found body positivity around the time where I had lost a lot of weight before. You know, my Instagram used to be mostly focused on weight loss, tons of before and after pictures. Maybe that's why I'm more open to people having varying beliefs within body positivity because of where I came from. But the way that I found body positivity was because I was so angry when I lost weight to see how much, or seeing how much better people treated me when I had become like an acceptable level of fat versus how people treated me when I was much larger. And it was mostly like microaggressions, but that shit wears on you over life, especially if you've been like fat your entire life. So like that's really where I found body positivity, and it was like, hey, stop treating fat people like shit. Hey, stop treating fat people like shit within healthcare. I want fair treatment in healthcare. I want to break these stereotypes about plus size bodies. I want to like preach the principles of health at every size. Like health can be, you can start to achieve health at any size and gain healthy habits. Like those are things that are important to me. The radicalized side of it with the Virgie Tovars of the world, which I was on a panel with her last year or the year before. We had very different opinions about everything. My face could not hide how disappointed I was with some of the things that she said. And I just don't identify with that kind of stuff. So it's really just taking what you need from each movement, and that's that. So that's really where I found body positivity. So that's what shaped my opinion on body positivity for the most part. Like for me, it was always about being like the healthiest version of myself regardless of my weight, and like not letting these stereotypes get to me, and like being extremely active and showing what was possible for plus size bodies. So if you came to body positivity from like the anti-weight loss standpoint, then I can understand why it might be very hard for you losing weight now. And I think body positivity is kind of threefold when you are rebelling against the mainstream beliefs. And the first fold is people try to attach morality to this movement, and automatically, like, if you're feeling guilty about losing weight and you're body positive, it means that you're doing something wrong, right? Like, you're feeling guilty because you shouldn't be doing this thing. And that, to me, is like very culty, and it just makes people feel shitty, like they can't have their own set of values, of beliefs. It devalues what you are and who you think because you are going against this movement. And then the second fold is like, you're holding up a mirror to them, and they think, not only in body positivity, in any movement, like if you stop being vegan, if you decide to lose weight, like you're like this black sheep saying like, your opinions can change. And that's scary for people, right? Like, if they believe in this movement, regardless of what it is, seeing someone being like, oh yeah, I don't care about that anymore, or I don't want to do that anymore, it makes it possible for them. They're like, well, I care. Like, I believe fully that you can be healthy at any size, not every size, which is different than the book title, but like, they feel like, oh, I really believe that, but this person's losing weight because they need to, because their health. So does that mean I might have to one day because my health or my fertility or whatever it is? And that's scary for people. So that's why they try to other you, so that they don't have to face the reality of shit can change anytime. Like, your mind, your beliefs, your situation can change anytime, and you might have to do a whole like turnaround and do the opposite of what you've believed all this time. So like, that's the second fold of it. And like, that in itself is like a threat to any movement. I feel like I hear that with Scientology all the time. When people turn or try to leave Scientology, they're like scared because people are outing them and all this stuff. It's like, it's a threat to have someone speak against your ideology. Like, that's bad for any movement, to have people that used to be within the movement saying, oh yeah, I don't believe that anymore. So I guess the third tier for me is, you are too close to a movement if it changes your instinctual behavior. Like, if what you, I'm the queen of talking in circles. So like I said in the last clip, if you feel like what you think, who you are, what you believe is like too wrapped up in this movement, then you're too close. Like, if you can't do what you want because of this ideology, you're too close. And that's like really where I stand, and you need to get rid of the labels and just do what you want to do. And I guess it really depends like what specifically you're struggling with. Is it like before and after pictures? Is it having to count calories and macros? I guess I would have to know more besides just I'm struggling. Like, what aspects are you struggling with? But I hope that that blanket of like, take what you need, leave the rest, is good enough. And my answer for anything that I'm not like fully knowledgeable on is, if you feel like you need help, get help. Get help of a therapist, a dietitian. Like, therapy, dietitians, doctors, like, they can help with a lot of these things that I feel like are like the struggle areas. Like, having that expertise can be really helpful. How does the boy feel about your weight loss? Has sex improved at all? Question mark. Is it different? He supports me no matter what. He was with me years ago when I was much larger. He's been with me through this transition. I'm always kind of like turned off when people say that their partners want to leave them because of their size, either them gaining weight or losing weight, because for me, like, commitment and love is something beyond like your body, especially when it comes to marriage. We're not married, but when I hear husbands or wives wanting to leave their partners because of these things, I'm like, you're married, like, what? Like, this is a commitment. But we're supportive of each other no matter what. Sometimes he tries to make me eat pizza, and I probably do, but that's balance in life. But sex, it's different because there's less belly in the way. I'm pretty sure you can picture it. How do you motivate yourself to work out? And another question was, do you take pre-workout? And I'm just gonna lump those together. I do not take pre-workout. I've taken pre-workout maybe a handful of times in my life. I just like to work out. So I'm usually pretty hyped to do it. And here's how you motivate yourself to work out. Do workouts that you don't hate. If you hate working out or try to force yourself into forms of movement that you don't like, it's going to be really hard to motivate yourself to do them. I love to dance. I love to teach and do yoga. I love a good HIIT workout because they're fast and then I can go about my day. So find something that you love to do and do that. Don't do anything else. That's it. Like, that is the motivation. And also, like I say all the time, motivation is kind of fleeting. It's really consistency. Kind of schedule them out and try to stick to your schedule. For me, that's usually like 3 times a week, and then walks in between, like daily walks, but like 3 actual workouts. And that works for me. So like, find your sweet spot of workouts, like how many times a week you want to do like hardcore workouts, and then try to work in walks or biking or whatever you like to do in between. So consistency always over motivation, and workouts you love always over workouts that you fucking hate. Do you grocery shop weekly? Wondering if I should start weekly for produce. So I do a big monthly shop where I stop by Costco, and then I do an HEB pickup order, and that's usually my proteins, my sauces, and like specialty items. And then I do produce weekly or bi-weekly. It really depends on what I have in my fridge. So usually I get a bunch of veggies. They typically last me a week to a week and a half. I mean, a big monthly shop for protein, and then weekly shops for like produce and just like little fill-in items to make a meal. So I hope that that helps. New follower here, how did you and your boyfriend meet? Any tips on meeting men outside of online? We met online, so it's kind of, I can't tell you for sure how to meet men outside of online. Almost all of my boyfriends, minus my high school boyfriends and girlfriends, I met in person, obviously, because there wasn't really the internet back then. But into adulthood, it's mostly been online. Me and my boyfriend met on MySpace 11 something years ago. We were friends for a couple of years, dated for 3 years, broke up for 4 years, and we've been back together for about 3 years. So I am dating my ex-boyfriend again. So yeah, people have a lot of opinions on that. I mean, I guess I used to as well, but people grow and change, and I don't know that we could have grown and changed together. So things are definitely better now than they were before, because we were so freaking young. But how to meet people outside of online. Have your friends introduce you to people. Your friends know people, maybe they can introduce and set you up with people. My church had a group for 18 to 30-year-olds, and then they had like 30 and up like groups, and we would go and hang out, play board games, have coffee. It was really fun, and those things are not really possible right now with COVID, but those are, you know, options, like when things open back up. Church groups, networking groups like that. At the gym, I met a few dates at the gym. So that's a place where you can meet people. I think it's just more being present in the places that you already are, not being on your phone, looking up at people, making eye contact with people. Being approachable is a way that you can make it easier to meet people as well. So the next two questions I can kind of lump together. What made you move to Austin? Any plans on changing states? What are your favorite parts of Austin? Which was a different. I moved to Austin because my grandparents are retired military. They live in Killeen, Texas. So I moved to Killeen, Texas, like initially when I was 18. And that's when my boyfriend found me on MySpace in the New in Your Area place, and we became friends there. And then I stayed with my papa for about a year, saved money, and then I moved to Austin. We always came to Austin for the summers when I would go to Killeen to visit my grandparents. I came every single summer to Texas, to Killeen to visit my grandparents. There was nothing in Killeen at the time. There's a ton more now. So we drive to Austin and to San Antonio to do fun stuff. So when I graduated high school, I was like, ooh, I want to go there. I love Austin. I love San Antonio. So that's why I ended up moving to Austin. My favorite parts of Austin, ooh, this is really hard because I just think Austin's so beautiful and there's so many awesome things about this city. I really love South Lamar. It's super cool. So many like local places that you can go and hang out. Downtown's really cool too. Not on the weekends though. That's not my vibe. I really like Bee Caves. I love Lake Travis. It's really hard to pick because each part of the city is so different. But what I love is there's just so much nature here. But at the same time, you're in a city. It is becoming a little bit overpopulated, which is what anyone that lives in a big city that's popular says, you know. And I do miss a lot of the old charm of Austin, but some of it does still remain. So those are my favorite parts. Any plans to move out of the state? I don't know. Wherever the Lord takes me is where I'm gonna go. I wanted to live in California for a really long time. I moved there a few years ago. The apartment that I loved and had looked at flooded in the month between when I like had last seen it, and I just took that as a sign from God that I was supposed to be here. And I think that like me and my boyfriend wouldn't be together certainly if I would have stayed in California. A lot of things changed in my family, and I think it was great that I was here. So I think that was definitely divine intervention, but I don't know in the future. I just keep my heart open and my mind open, and I will go wherever the Lord sends me. What is your favorite place to buy bras? So I get my bras mostly at Torrid and Lane Bryant. It's just the easiest, most accessible, where you can go into the store, get measured, and try them on. I love the t-shirt bra from Lane Bryant. It is a wireless bra, but it has molded cups, so it still gives you good support and a good look. Same thing with Torrid. I really like their wireless bra as well. I do not like underwires. I haven't worn an underwire for years. They're just not comfortable for me. The only time I wear them is if I have to wear a strapless bra for something. But Torrid, Lane Bryant, and they do good sales. Like if you wait, you can get like 2 for whatever, you know, whatever the price is, but you can get them discounted. But I know like for bralettes, I have been liking the Auden, A-U-D-E-N line from Target recently. Very good bralettes, because I don't really like the Torrid bralettes as much anymore since they changed them a few years ago. Where else did I get bralettes? I like the Calvin Klein sports bras too. Those are really nice for just like lounging. And then for activewear, I love the Lola Getz sports bras, and I really like the Girlfriend Collective sports bras as well. So there you go. Your boobies are covered, girl. Or it doesn't really say. You could be non-binary. Did you ever buy a Berkey? We used one for years and still our best kitchen purchase. And it's still our best kitchen purchase. No, I did not end up buying a Berkey. The reason, which I go back and forth on it, because I feel like I definitely would be saving more money if I would have bought a Berkey, because you know, you just take water out of the sink and it filters it. But so many of the consumer reports were like inconclusive on if it filters water properly or not. And I've heard so many people say that they put like river water in there and drank it and it was perfect. But like there was so much back and forth online with the Berkey and like the cleanliness of the water that I didn't want to be that one person that like gets a faulty filter and like dies. So I ended up just getting a Primo water dispenser, and then I have 15 gallons of water on hand. So I have the big 5-gallon water jugs, and I take them to Natural Grocers. They have the triple distilled reverse osmosis water, and I just fill those up. It's 25 cents a gallon. So usually I take 2 at a time, and it's $2.50 for 10 gallons of water. So over time, I'm definitely spending more money than if I would have just bought a Berkey, and maybe I will switch it out in the future. I just was kind of in a pinch where I needed a water solution and I wasn't 100% on a Berkey. So yeah. I did get a what's your dream job / career. I really like doing YouTube. I don't always like doing YouTube full time. I do like going to work, so that's why teaching yoga is really great. Once things open up, I'll be excited to be able to go back to a yoga studio. Eventually, maybe I would want to open a yoga studio when people can go and breathe the same air again. I also really just want like land and to have chickens and maybe sell eggs at the farmer's market. Like, these are the extremes of my brain. Like, maybe I want to own a yoga studio or activewear brand, and I don't know if people would consider that a career or not, but maybe I want to develop my own activewear brand. But maybe I just want to like have a bunch of chickens also. So that's what my brain is. And again, I make plans and I plan for my future and I work towards my goals, but I know ultimately where my life goes is God's plan. So my plan is always secondary to his plan, and I'm always communicating with him along the way. Lord, is this where you want me? And if it is where he wants me, that's where I will be. And I am happy with always blindly following the Lord. So that is all. Those are all the questions. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, remember to keep an open mind, keep an open heart, practice unconditional compassion, but don't take shit from anyone. I love you guys endlessly, and I hope you love yourselves even more. We'll talk really soon. Bye.